We are back. Happy Wednesday. Our question of the month for our Q&A Wednesday is discipline. How would someone who's undisciplined accept it? We're going to jump right back in because we are almost done. All right, so finishing up on this last video, he's talking about how the undisciplined allow a lot of different factors to affect what they do or what they don't do, right? So mood, appetite, passions, temptations all rule their life, right? So when you are disciplined, you are the one that's in control. When you're undisciplined, you allow other factors around you, your environment and everything else to control you, to rule you, right? And he also gave another quote with Abraham Lincoln that said, choosing what you want now and what you want most, right? So you pick which one you want to do. You either want to work now and rest later, or you want to rest now and work later. And even if you don't work later, you're going to get whatever you put in, right? So moving on, we are going to go to our next video. And for the sake of time, we will put in an extra video. Once we post this, you will have all of the links to all of the videos that we went over today for those that want to go back and listen to it another time, but what we're going to do is we are going to play a snippet from another video, and then another video after that we will just post in the comment section so you can go and check that out in your own time. All right.
I'm all about acknowledging your shortcomings in life. A lot of people talk about triple down on your strengths. Triple down on your strengths and don't worry about your shortcomings. That's a whole new thing I'm hearing right now. Maybe it's not new, but it's new to me because I'm not out there really listening to all this stuff. That's the quickest way to never grow. To never grow. If you sit there and have that mentality of triple down on what you're good at, you're never going to grow. You're always going to stay the same. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. So one thing that helped me out a lot when I was growing up was people always ask me, how do you build mental toughness? Mental toughness, a lot of people have these classes out here. A class on mental toughness, positive thinking, visualization, all these different techniques. Mental toughness is a lifestyle. It's something that you live every single day of your life. When I was growing up, I was a lazy kid. Everybody goes, how did you get to where you're at today? How did you get to where you're running 200 miles at one time in 39 hours? Being so disciplined. It started off, honestly, with recognizing that my bedroom was dirty. My bed wasn't made. I lived a sloppy life. So I took very small increments in my life. I started making my bed. I started cleaning my room. There were dishes in the sink. It started off with doing small house chores. I saw that the yard needed to be mowed. So instead of being told it needed to be mowed, I would mow it. I started doing things, coming outside of my lazy ways to become better. And through a period of time, your brain doesn't like it, but it starts to realize this is a new way of thinking. We are now doing things that we are uncomfortable doing. We are doing things that we don't want to do. So the brain starts to slowly grow. And let's say you don't like to get up early in the morning time to go run. I hated it. I still hate it. You do that. You live uncomfortable to gain growth. You have to have friction in your life to gain growth. And the only way to do that is to make yourself uncomfortable and get to the point where instead of running from the things you don't want to do, you actually face them and start to gain more and more growth in your life. So that's how I approach all those things. Self-talk, for me, has been the biggest thing in my life. A lot of us have a dialogue that is crap. It's a crappy dialogue. We live in a world right now that is very external. Everything is very on the surface, superficial. Everything. And what we're telling ourselves is what we see on TV, is what we see on Instagram, what we see on Facebook. And we're telling ourselves stuff that doesn't really penetrate to our core, to the inside of our soul. So our self-talk is like, what am I going to wear today? How am I going to look today? I need to act this way today because this way is cool. My self-talk became something that actually made me better. And I had a whole bunch of negative things in my life. And to get to the self-talk portion of it first, you have to quiet all of the phones and social media and all the negativity of the world to get to even hear your own self have a self-talk. You can't have self-talk if you're hearing someone else's dialogue and what they're putting out on social media, how they want you to act, how they want you to dress, how they want you to talk. Everything out there is you're trying to keep up with somebody. You're not trying to find your own self. So you have to clear away all the crap. And how you clear away the crap to even get to your self-talk is you have to get all of the noise of all the crap of the world out of your head. So I call it going to a dark place. You have to get the noise out. Quiet your mind down. Get all the static out before you can even have a real conversation with yourself. And that self-talk, a lot of times it's very negative because of all the stuff we see on TV, all the stuff we see on social media. You have to create a positive dialogue. There's something I do that I have a demonstration. And I make somebody very strong, and I can make him very weak within 3 seconds. I put self-talk, I put my own voice in their subconscious. And I do something to them that makes them very weak. And they wonder, how in the world do you do this? I do it because I'm putting my own dialogue in your head. I'm telling a person that you're insecure. I'm telling a person that you're weak. And I'm able to make this person almost, they have no strength. And then I give it right back to them. And all day long, we are feeding ourselves the wrong self-talk. It's negative self-talk. So all day long, I'm putting the positive self-talk in my subconscious. I'm making sure that I'm walking around all day long, giving myself the proper fuel to attack the world. That's why I work out hard every day. I work out hard every day because I know the first thing in the morning what I do is I clean my room, I clean my house, I go for a run, I work out. I want to win the war in the morning. Because the second I leave my house, the second you look at your phone, the second you turn the TV on, you're in a battle. All this negativity is coming at you. But if you're able to fuel yourself in the morning, win the war in the morning, so you have the strength to face what you're going to face in the world. The world's going to come at you with lefts and rights. You have to have the right kind of mentality. And that starts by not hitting the snooze button. It starts by waking up. No, you don't want to do it, but that gives you the strength because you did it. If you do it, if you do something you don't want to do every morning, you're already giving yourself the proper self-talk. You're already giving yourself the proper dialogue to attack the people that don't like you, to attack your insecurities, to attack what the world's going to give you. So self-talk comes from belief in yourself. If you're giving yourself self-talk, positive self-talk, but you don't believe it, it's not going to come true. You have to put the work behind what you're saying and believe what you're saying to yourself for that self-talk to become a reality in your subconscious. So no matter what anybody says to you, no matter what you hear, you know the truth. And you're living through the truth, and no one can penetrate that. No one.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there. Again, I will put all of these videos in the chat once this is uploaded, so you can go back and watch it on your own time. I didn't play the whole thing for the sake of time, and we also have another video that will be extra for you. All right, so we're just going to do a quick recap and finish up for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, for those that participated, for those that listened, that hopefully you all got something from it. So basically, people are not willing to put in the work, even though they want different things, right? So it's the self-discipline is the root of all good qualities. It's about what you focus on and what you welcome, right? And life is about constant growth. So being willing to train your mind as well as your body to get the things that you want. right? So we talked about what discipline is. We talked about, Jocko talked about discipline and where it comes from. It comes from within. You can be in a disciplined environment or an undisciplined environment and not be the product of your environment. You can change it, right? There are many people who have changed their outcome based on themselves, based on their level of control, their level of discipline, what they actually wanted for themselves, right? So it's not necessarily about where you are, but taking ownership, taking responsibility, shining a light on those fears, those undisciplined areas, and then making a plan to do something about it, right? So knowing that no one is going to hold your hand, right? You have to want it for yourself. And there's going to be times where you may not want to do it, and that's fine, but don't stay there. Do it when you don't feel like it, self-discipline, having the ability to control your emotions and your weaknesses. A lot of people who are undisciplined allow the environment, their mood, temptation, passions, and everything else to control and rule them and rule their life. Those who are disciplined have some control, right? So it's a matter of whether you're controlling your environment or whether your environment is controlling you. And it's a matter of whether you want to put the work in to rest later, or whether you want to rest now and pay for it later. It's all up to you. The choice is yours. The ball is in your court. So it's a matter of what you do, and you only reap what you sow, which means whatever you're sowing, that's what you're going to get. So just be mindful of what you are actually putting in, because you can't expect something that you're not doing. You can't expect one thing if you're doing something else. You can't expect 100% back if you're only putting in 30, right? So, David Goggins was our last speaker for today, and he talks about how self-discipline is everything, right? To go from undisciplined to discipline. Now, for those who don't know who he is, he was someone who was overweight, who ended up in the military, ended up really pushing himself, doing like 70 miles, 100 miles, not trained. And he pushed himself to the point of almost death. And that's when he realized he can do whatever he set his mind to. He changed his life just by a choice and consistency. There's times where he doesn't want to do anything at all, but he does it because he knows what having discipline is and how is necessary, right? So he talked about you're either going to get better or you're going to get worse, and how mental toughness is not something that you just do one time. It's a lifestyle. You do it every day. It's something that you live every day, right? So taking the small steps to become better is key. He didn't do everything all in one sitting. It took time to get out of the habits that he was used to in order to switch to better habits, better lifestyle, right? And it says your brain grows when you live uncomfortable, and that you have to have friction in your life in order to grow. So purposely creating friction so that you can grow. A lot of times we want growth, but we don't want the process of it. The process is what helps us to get better. And even though that sounds good, it doesn't feel good. And that is quite all right, but it's for our good, all right? He also talked about self-talk. Whatever you talk about to yourself, you're listening. So be mindful of that. Whatever you feed in yourself, that is what you are going to eat. So what are you feeding yourself? What are you telling yourself? Because whatever you say, that's what you're going to believe. That's what you're going to think. That's how you're going to live, right? So be very mindful of your energy, what you're doing around you, how you are living your life. The question is, do you want to stay undisciplined, or do you want to become more disciplined? Take small steps. Do what you need to do. Train your brain. Have positive affirmations. Talk to yourself in a healthy way, right? Create a positive dialogue with yourself. One thing I did like about what he said was to win the war in the morning so you can have the strength to face the world. How you set your tone, and whenever you get up, whatever your morning is, that is how the rest of the day is going to look, right? So taking that quiet time to get off of all the noise that surrounds you and really hone in on what you tell yourself, because if you're listening to everybody else, you can't hear you. So take that time to listen to you, right? And create a routine, right? So in order to be undisciplined, And to get from that to discipline, you have to have a routine. You have to want it. You have to do it even when you don't feel like it. Speak life into yourself and actually put in what you want out. There's going to be sacrifice. Whatever you love is going to be sacrifice, right? So that is pretty much all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for receiving. Hopefully you received what we shared today about discipline. Self-discipline is key. Discipline is necessary for success, right? You can't grow if you're stagnant. You can't grow if you're not willing to change. And you can't grow if you're not willing to confront or face those things, those fears, those undisciplined habits. We all have them, right? But what are you going to do about it once you face it, once you expose it? Have a plan, set a routine, be consistent. Speak positive and healthy dialogue to yourself, right? All of these things are a factor. And of course, how you surround yourself with people, with things, with what you listen to, what you watch, all of these things matter. Consistency is key, and all it takes is the start. So make sure if you do anything, start it first and then watch everything play out. All right, so that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much. Just a couple of announcements. Showcase Your Talent show
Grammarly
will be
does more than catch
next
errors.
week.
With Grammarly, you can find really good, no, perfect.
All right, so Showcase Your Talent show will be next week, the 25th from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. There is still room to register to be a contestant where you compete for a chance at a $100 grand prize, plus a feature spot in the following month. There's also feature spots available where you just showcase your art. And there's also sponsor spots where you have a business, a product or service, and you want to share during the show. We have room for you as well. We have Meeting of the Minds Mondays coming up. This Monday, we will be talking about self, right? So stay tuned for that. We have it once a month, and we talk about anywhere from business to self to art and everywhere in between. If you have a topic that we have not discussed, check out our series on YouTube or on our page. And if there's anything that we have not discussed that you want us to discuss, definitely DM or email us so that we can add it in the queue, because we're here to serve you. Q&A Wednesdays, of course, are once a month where we pose a question. You can also access anything that you like for during the time that we're here. You can either put it in the chat or the question box, or if you want a guaranteed answer before we start on our question of the month, definitely email or DM us so that we can get that right in. And if you want to pose the question of the month, you can also email or DM us as well, and we'll put it in the queue. We also have Freestyle Friday in 3 segments. We have Open Mic first or fourth Fridays. We have Battle Art second Fridays. So we will be back next Friday to finish off our Battle Art. The theme is If God Was One of Us. If you want a chance at $25 or more, definitely tune in next Friday so that you can have a chance at it. All right, we also have feature segments, which will be back. We usually have them third Fridays. In place of that is the Art of War Art Awareness Fundraiser, which will be this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so stay tuned for that. It's a place to raise awareness for the beauty, necessity, and uniqueness of art based on your culture, background, and where you're from. And we are also raising funds so that we can come to a place near you. We're doing virtual concerts, but we want to do in person eventually. So that is why we are raising the funds. We also have YouTube subscriptions. We have email subscriptions. So if you want to be in the know and be the first to know about all things intellects, definitely subscribe to our emails. Our YouTube channel has a host of all the things that we do here on there, so you can check out everything on our YouTube channel as well. We have promo options. We have merch. Let's see, we got merch. We got merch. We got merch. We got merch. All right. We got merch. Right. So we have books. We have voiceover options. We have flyer maker options. We have Intellect's the Place for Artrepreneurs podcast. We are going into season 3. If you are interested in being a feature, definitely email or DM us so that we can collaborate with you. And we have our first art and business seminar that is posted. We are going to be doing another one very soon, so look out for that. So that is all for now. Thank you. Again, I am your host, Intellects, founder and CEO of Intellect's Artrepreneur Agency, the and for artists, the one-stop artist shop where we come and help you with your needs. We connect with entrepreneurs and artists and creatives and connect you with experts, networks, platforms, so that we can promote your unique artistry. So we are here to serve you. All right, so thank you again for tuning in. We hope you have a blessed Wednesday, an awesome rest of the week. Until next time.